Let us now see how we can implement semaphore. So there are some concerns that we should be careful while we are implementing semaphore. So when a process executes the wait operation and finds that the semaphore value is not positive, what does it do? It must wait. It is called busy waiting. So rather than this busy waiting, the process can block itself, which places it into a waiting queue associated with the semaphore. That means rather than busy waiting, rather than utilizing the CPU unnecessarily, what we can do, we can insert the process into a queue, and there will be a queue for each semaphore, and all the processes that wants to access that kind of resources, it will be added to the queue of that semaphore, and the state of the process is switched to the waiting state before it was in running state, and the control is transferred to CPU scheduler, which selects another process to execute. So in this way we can utilize CPU uses, and then it will be restarted when some other process executes a signal operation. So when other process executes signal on this semaphore, the semaphore value will be increased, and when the semaphore value will be a positive number, a process from this queue can come again into the CPU and restart it. So the process is restarted by a wake up operation that changes it from waiting to ready state. So this is the code for semaphore implementation. So semaphore is actually a structure. This is the code in C language. This is the name of the structure. This is something like object-oriented class in object-oriented programming. So in this structure there are two variables. One is an integer variable value, and another is a list. This is the pointer type of variable. So in this variable the value of the semaphore is stored, and in this list the process who will be in the waiting will be added in this list. So let us now see how wait and signal works. What is the definition of wait and signal? So a semaphore value in the wait function, if we think this is value, and in the wait function the main job is to decrement the value, decrement this value. Say if this is 0, one wait function call will make it -1, and then it will check, is the value less than 0? Is the s value, this is the s value, is it less than 0? Yes. Then what will it do? It will add this process to the list. So if I say this is P1 and P1 is calling the wait function, then it becomes -1 and P1 becomes added in the list. Say if there is another function and then it again calls the wait function, what will happen? So this will be updated. Now it will be -2 and P2 will be added in the list of this semaphore. So in this way it goes on. If there is another variable process P3 which calls this wait function, then what will be the value of wait? The value of wait will be now -3, and as it is less than 0, P3 will be added in this list. In this way this goes on. Okay, so let us now see how signal works. Say another process, say this is P10. P10 calls a signal function over this. So if P10 calls a signal, what it will do? It will increase the value of S. So what will be the new value? It will be -2. And then it comes here. Is it less equal 0? Yes. And if after increasing the value of semaphore, if it's still less than -0, if it's still less than 0, that means there's some process waiting in the queue of this semaphore. So what will we do? We'll remove a process. Say we'll remove P1 from the process, and we'll wake up this P1, this process, and this will be executed. This will get the resources. And then again, say another function, another process, it calls the signal function. So what will it do? It will again increment this value, and now this will be -1. So what does it mean? It is still less than equal 0. So still, that means still there are some process waiting in the list. So we will wake up another process and assign resource to this process. Say another process calls this signal. So what will it do? It will update this value to 0. See, still this condition satisfied. Still it is less equal 0. That means still there is process in the list. So it will wake up this process and allocate resource to this process. So see, now if another process, say P7, if another process calls this signal function, what will it do? It will increment this value, and now the value will be 1, a positive value. So now this condition doesn't satisfy, and also you can see there's no process in the list. So this is the implementation of semaphore. This is how semaphore is implemented using a value and a list. If the value becomes negative, or if the value goes towards negative, the process who are calling wait function, they are added in the list. They are added one after another in the list. And when any function, so any process calls the signal function, the value is incremented. So until the value becomes a positive one, that means the value becomes greater than 0, we will understand that there are some processes waiting for getting resources. So that means until it becomes greater than 0, we will remove process when a signal function is called. So while using semaphores or in synchronization, there may be some occurrences like deadlock and starvation. So let us now see what deadlock is. If two or more processes can wait indefinitely for an event, that's deadlock. That means one event is waiting for another, and the other event is also waiting for this to happen. Say if this is P1 and this is P2. P1 is waiting that it will do its work after P2 has completed its execution, and again P2 is waiting for P1. It's expecting that if P1 executes and finishes, then it will start executing. So in this way, this is called a deadlock. A deadlock creates or occurs. So here it says it occurs because two processes depends on each other for causing an event in a specific manner. So there are two processes, P0 and P1. P0 first calls an wait function on a semaphore S. Say initially they are both 1. There's two semaphore, both are 1. So when it calls wait function on S, it makes it 0. And at the same time in the P1, it makes a wait call on Q, so it becomes 0. Then again P0 calls and wait on Q, but now see, the value of Q is not positive, it is 0. It is not greater than 0. So what will it do? It will be stuck here. P0 will be stuck here, and see in here P1 calls and wait on S, but again S is 0, so P1 is stuck here. So they will go from here to the next line or here from the next line once the variable values become 1. But how the variable value will become 1? It will become 1 if S will become 1 if P0 can call a signal on S, and Q will become 1 if P1 calls signal on Q. But they cannot come from this line to the next line, skipping this line. The P0 cannot skip this line and comes here, and P1 cannot skip this line and comes here. So a deadlock occurs here. And what is starvation? Starvation means processes wait indefinitely within the semaphore. That means C is waiting and P0 is waiting, P1 is waiting. How much time they will wait, we don't know. They will wait indefinitely because the signal will not be called again, and S and Q cannot be 1 again, never. So actually it occurs if we remove processes from the list associated with a semaphore in leaf order. In the previous slide we have seen whenever we were extracting processes, we were extracting process in first in first out, first P1 then P2 then P3 in that order. If we would remove processes from the last in first out order, then the deadlock would occur.